Hey, open up my YouTube over there
Okay.
and play my drum solo thing for background music. Because we can do that. That's ours. We own it. Better than silence, yeah.
The channel trailer?
Mm-hmm. Or the whole video. Actually, that video. Probably drumlet might be there. Trippy groove. Back. Your playlist on videos.
Right.
Repeat if needed. Go ahead, play. Pause it. Play it. Volume it. No. Pause. Too big in. Hey, what's going on, all three of you? I'm talking to the camera. All right, so we're back with the live video that I talked about earlier that I would be back for. And earlier we were talking about the website being live at west.techguide.com. And right now we're going to be talking about kind of the same thing and a couple of other things. Robert Lopez, how you doing, buddy? Glad you could make it. So anyways, we're going to be talking about the website, west.techguide.com, with some of the stuff we're going to have up on there. I've got this little Duracell thing here. We're going to be doing a review on this. It's a little jumper pack with a little, I believe, 100-watt inverter. And we got some of these things we're going to also have on our website, as well as our own products, just so there's more to choose from and to select from, as well as the batteries, the Headway battery cells, the Samsung battery cells. We'll probably have some Panasonic cells up there pretty soon. And of course, all the solar generators. So tonight we're going to, if we get enough people on board, I'm going to have some of you maybe call in and do a little one-on-one over the phone. It makes it a little bit easier than reading chat and whatnot. So earlier we had one guy on, Jaws, his name, and he's somebody I've done business with over the last year or so. We've talked a little bit. We haven't actually done, monetary business, but him and I have talked back and forth. So he was on here earlier today, and he got a pretty good run of the chat. So anyways, west.techguide.com is now live. We're updating the site as we speak. I've got Derek over there working on it. We don't have everything on there yet. And some things you will see on there, like our generators, you will have, you'll see some of the ones we've made, and then there'll be just some generic pictures as of right now for the generators, just as a thumbnail. And then once you go inside, you'll see more of the description of what you're going to be ordering and what you're going to get, and you'll pick the kind of casing and things that you want, and that'll give you more of an idea. And of course, they're all, you'll choose if you want it made out of diamond plate, or you just want it straight aluminum or something along those lines. You'll be able to pick all your different pricing categories, like on your, let's say you pick a 600-watt unit and you want a 20 or a 40 or a 60 or a 100 amp hour battery. Those levels will be in each generator for you to choose. So, if you only want a 20 amp battery to start with, you can do that. Or if you want a 100 amp hour battery, you can do that. And of course, those will max out for the pack itself or for the solar generator eventually, because it's, the size of that unit will only hold so many batteries. You can always buy another battery pack and add it to it, because we'll always have battery packs that you can add to it. And that's something we're working with every day, and coming up with different solutions on how to make each battery pack work with every generator, no matter what series you buy, so you're not wasting anything. And we're trying to make it to where we can run lithium with LiFePO4. So if you bought a lithium pack, then you can run it with the LiFePO4 system. Or if you bought a lithium generator, you could buy a LiFePO4 battery pack and make those run in conjunction with each other. Voltages will be different on LiPo and LiFePO4, so it's a little trickier to make that happen. But I'm working on that, so pretty soon I should be able to get that handled. And I see that we've only got a few people in here, so hopefully we'll get somebody else to join us, and this will be a worthwhile conversation. Robert, where you at, man? So yeah, if there's any questions you guys have or ladies have, go ahead and ask me those questions. I'll do the best I can to answer those. If you got pricing questions, or you got battery questions, or you got networking questions, or you've got music questions, or you've got whatever kind of question, just throw it out there. I'm not very good at just sitting on a screen and just talking on kind of off the cuff. It kind of sucks, but Southern Cal, right on, right on. And we'll also have our solar panels up there that are coming. So you'll be able to pick out solar panels. We'll have all different sizes, shapes, different cells, different styles. We'll have mono and poly both, 60 cell, 70 cell. We'll have flexible solar panels. We'll have them as low as probably 10 watts and up into the 300s. And I say 300s because there's so many different levels of panels. Once you reach 100 watts, it's all over the place. So we'll have the really long, flexible, 16 volt stuff. And then we're going to have our solar controllers on there. We're going to have our inverters on there. So lots of different things. We're going to have some turbines, wind turbines on there. We're going to also have some water turbines on there, so you can produce power through the water. All these different things to help our product help you as you come in and get it. And right now over at westthatTechGuide.com, you can see a couple of our products. You can check out our pricing. There might be some sticker shock when you first look in there. But the cold, hard reality of it is we've done a lot of research on pricing for our products, and they're genuine and they're guaranteed genuine. So the products you see on our website, like our batteries, for instance, those are genuine, authentic products. We don't buy them from, some fifth party company out of China or anything like that. We buy them direct from the manufacturer, whether it be Samsung, Panasonic, or whoever. And like our Headway cells, for instance, they're all brand new cells. They're date stamped. You can see that. And Headways are expensive. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter, where you buy them or who you buy them from. If you go on eBay and look, if you go to Amazon, if you can even find them on Amazon, you'll see that by the time you're done buying them, purchasing them from the company in China that you're buying them from, paying their shipping fees, waiting for anywhere from a week, 10 days, 2 weeks, a month, however they decide to ship them, and whenever they finally get around to shipping them, even Alibaba, you're still going to pay more money than you would pay just buying them from myself, or Home Tech Power, and which I'm Home Tech Power. But you're still gonna spend less money. You're going to be dealing with somebody right here in the States, somebody that you can talk to, somebody that you can get a hold of, somebody that will warranty your products, provided they need to be warranted. So that's a huge thing as far as the batteries are concerned, in my opinion. And I've priced them right. So we'll also have battery chargers on there for both lithium and LiFePO4 and lead acid batteries. We will have a lot of renewable energy stuff. We'll have a lot of portable solar style of stuff. So I like to refer to, the Goal Zero, and, those of you who've done any research on this stuff, what that is. So we'll have a line just like that. We'll have our lower quality line will be like the Goal Zero, like the Yeti. And then of course the upper end stuff will be like what you've been seeing coming from me. So you will have an entire package of things. We will have the small power supplies that you can take. We'll have them with inverters built in, and USB-C, and all of the faster connections now with the bigger amperage, 60-watt USB-C and Thunderbolt connections, things like that, where you can run your computer, right off of it. Not everybody needs a ton of power. So if somebody wants some smaller stuff, we're going to be able to give you guys that as well. So let's see here. You'll also be able to buy all the parts for our inverters there. For instance, you'll be able to buy new circuit boards for those inverters. You'll be able to buy temp sensors, remotes, all the accessories that come with the inverters that we can sell you. So if you have an inverter and you have a problem, you'll always be able to get the parts for it. If it's on you, if it's on us, you can send it to us. We'll fix it. Or even if it's on us, like if a circuit board goes bad or something, we're not going to ask you to send your whole unit into us. We're going to help you troubleshoot it right over the phone. And then we're going to just send you the board and then walk you through that if you're able to do that. If not, you can send it back to us and we can fix it, whether it's a warranty issue or whether it's been damaged by yourself. So something just to, think about. Robert says, I'm looking to build a 3,000 watt generator. Nice, Robert. Nice. Give me some more details. We can talk about it. 3,000 watt, high frequency or low frequency? This is where I always like to start with, wattage is good, but when you're talking continuous watts and what you're going to be using, then it's a big factor in that, whether you're high frequency or low frequency. Looks like Alonzo Gonzalez just joined us, Wes, with that awesome customer service. Thanks again, Alonzo. I noticed you were here earlier. Thanks for coming in. Vegas Roy, wow, it's been a while, Roy. How you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Glad you made it. So, you'll be able to go to the website. You'll be able to get the stuff you need. As many things as we can have that we could actually sell to you or give to you for the inverter or the solar generator. And then this is coming down to everything. We're talking schematics. We're talking wiring assemblies. We're talking, we'll have some, complete wire harnesses set up and ready to buy a la carte. So, if you want to put one of our generators together, you'll be able to buy the entire generator a la carte, every single part and piece and then put it together yourself. They'll be a little different for you if you do it that way. Like for instance, if you buy one of my inverters, well, that's exactly what you're going to get is one of my inverters. You're not going to get it in the raw form that you'll see it in some of our solar generators. Of course, we don't have to have a case around them. We don't have to have, AC outlets on them and things like that when they go inside the box, because we're wiring everything up. And so we don't have the cases around them. So when you open up ours, it just looks like a bunch of, transistors, resistors, MOSFETs, and things like that, and transformers, depending on which ones you buy. So, Robert, anyways, I had mentioned high or low frequency. Do you know the difference of what you want, whether you want high frequency or low frequency and or not? Do you know the difference between the two? Oh, there it is. When the power goes out, like to plug into generator for the house. When the power goes out, like to plug into gen for the house. Okay, so 3,000 watts to do that. You would want low frequency for running your whole house if you're going to run any kind of heavy loads, anything big, microwaves and stuff. But if you did have a 3,000 watt high frequency inverter, pure sine wave, and it's 3,000 watt rated, that's great. It's going to surge at 6,000 watts for a millisecond, maybe a tenth of a second or so. And that'll run your lights, it'll run your TV, run some computers, it'll kick on some small microwaves, and some lower, wattage things like, say, a hair dryer even, but they just don't have the surge, and they're transformerless. So the high frequency ones tend to be cheaper. They'll still give you that 3,000 watt continuous power. It's just not the same as on the low frequency side. And the low frequency side is going to give you that big surge that I've always talking about, to really help kick on the air conditioning system or the big microwave and the big refrigerators and so on and so forth. And then it's just going to determine how big your battery bank is after that, determining how long you want that power to run. So, Robert says, I'm thinking low. Okay, so yeah, low frequency inverter is the way to go. We'll have them up on the site here. You come on over and get one. All of ours are running at 60 hertz. You can get them in single phase or double phase. So any type of low frequency inverter that we sell here is going to have an excellent warranty on it. You're going to have excellent customer service with it. And a lot of the times, if there's any issues with the inverters, we already know what that's going to be and what's going to cause it and how it happens from mass testing. So we'll have those parts readily available for any kind of breakdown that you have. Also, another reason we're going to have some of that stuff on the website, like a circuit board, for instance. Boards go bad. It happens. Things can happen. Power surges, lightning, a lot of different things. Can cause your board to go, you can make a mistake, cause the board to fry. Boards are a lot cheaper than a whole inverter, and they're pretty simple to plug in and install yourself. So myself, for my inverter, believe it or not, I have 2 spare boards laying around and an extra transformer. And that's because if, I have a power outage or we have a big storm and we're going to be without power for a week or two, the last thing I want to do is have a problem and not be able to have power. So, it's generally always in the board and or the transformer. So I just keep the boards around in an extra transformer so I can always be up and running. Not to mention I have a whole bunch of inverters. So either way, I'm okay. But I like to stick with the main inverter. I wouldn't want to have to sit and, mess with wiring up a new inverter. But I believe in redundancy and backup, so it's just kind of the way I am. Plus, I'm in the business, so I'll always have an inverter laying around, so it won't be an issue. And then, of course, we have generators to help along the way if need be. But the key is to be as green as possible, as fuelless as possible. Vegas Roy says, when you are saying high and low frequency, are you meaning 60 hertz versus 400 hertz? No, not that I'm aware of, Roy. 60 hertz, we run 60 hertz on both high and low frequency inverters. High frequency is a transformerless inverter where the low frequency has a big transformer in it. So if you took a 3,000 watt inverter in both high and low frequency, the low frequency is going to weigh, 60, 70, 80 pounds. where your high frequency, is going to weigh, 12 pounds, 10 pounds, maybe 15 pounds. Now, some of these things, guys, I get questions on my YouTube channel, and I also get questions through email. A lot of them. Get a lot of phone calls as well. So when it comes to inverters and all the parts and components and pieces that we put into our builds, I do want to say that I am not an inverter expert by any means. I am not an inverter engineer. I am not an inverter inventor. I am using another product from somebody else that makes them for me, and putting them into a package with other things that make what I sell. I have a great knowledge of electronics and electricity and current and energy and storage and all these other things, but I have a pretty vast knowledge on inverters, but I am not, like I said, I'm not the inverter maker. I'm not the inverter inventor. That was done way before my time and before I was even born, actually. But so sometimes you guys will ask me a question, and I'll just have to say, you know what, I don't know, or we can find out. But anyways, Robert Lopez says, I'm a diesel mech by trade and understand what you say. I'm also going to make it portable and take on the road. Okay. So, diesel mechanic, I'm an auto mechanic myself. That's definitely a specialty of mine. Not diesel though. Diesel is not my specialty. Gasoline, internal combustion motors, absolutely. And automobiles in general. But diesel generators are awesome. And if you, put one of these in conjunction with a small diesel generator and some solar panels, you're golden. And you can, as long as you get it to a point where you can lift it and move it around by yourself, get as big as you can handle, and you'll always have all the power you need. That's another thing. A lot of people are always talking about, how much power do I need, and how many batteries do I need, and the reality of it is your power needs are going to be determined upon you, your square footage of your home or your RV or your shop or whatever it is you're trying to power, and then of course what you're putting in there and what kind of devices you're using, components, electronics, and things that are requiring power. Most of us, when we look at a doomsday situation or a storm or a power outage or just living off the grid, we look at the average household across the country or even the world. And, that average household is anywhere from, believe it or not, 800 square feet to 2,200 square feet. And then you have to look at the size of the family and what's in the house. And, are you running refrigeration? If you are, how big of a refrigerator? Are you running microwaves? And if so, how big? Are you using coffee pots, hair dryers, lights? How many? TVs, computers, all of these things add up. Does your hot water heat via electricity? Is it a 220 volt water heater? Is it a 120 volt water heater? Do you cook on an electric stove or gas stove? Is your water heated by electric or gas or propane? And all of these things factor into everything. Okay. So that being said, the average household, once you remove the heavy hitters, once you remove the heavyweights like the dryer, heavy duty microwaves, of course, central air and central heat, the water heater, clothes dryer, you've taken all the big, heavy 220 volt hitters out of the house. If you put LED lights in all your light bulbs, and even if you don't use LED in all your light bulbs, and you run a 3,000 watt system into your house or into your main panel, you can pretty much run your entire house off 3,000 watts. That doesn't mean you can run the entire house at one time. You can't go flick on every light switch with incandescent light bulbs and halogen light bulbs and turn your under cabinet lights on that are running 50 watt halogens and all of these things at once and expect to last on 3,000 watts, because that's not going to happen. Maybe if you're in that 800 square foot house, that'll work, but it's not going to happen in the 2,200 square foot house. But if you, use your power wisely, and, I always like to look at power as money. So it's money in the bank, or it's power in the bank. Your battery bank or your battery cell is your depository. And when you got a full charged battery or battery bank, that's all your money. And so when you want to use something in your household that requires electricity, then you're going to have to spend some of that electricity on that device. And that's how you determine what size of a battery bank you need and how big a generator or a solar generator or an inverter you're going to need to get through your needs every day with a charge, or every evening, I should say, without a charge. And so the long story short is that the average household can run on 3,000 continuous watts of power once you pull the heavyweights out. Now, if you want to get into the heavyweights, now we have to instantaneously move up to 6,000 watts, double phase, or 220 volts in order to run the 220 stuff, like your washer, your dryer, or not your washer, but your dryer, your water heater, your air conditioning, things like that. Some households have a small enough AC unit that a 6,000 watt low frequency inverter will kick it on and run it. And then it's only going to run as long as, of course, your battery bank is. So these are just some of those things to think about. And then we go up from there: 8,000, 10,000, 12,000, 15,000 watts, or 8 kilowatts, 10 kilowatts, 12 kilowatts, 15 kilowatts. And then they have huge surges, so they'll easily run whole house AC. But you better have a battery bank or a hell of a solar array or a big wind turbine or two, or some water turbines in order to keep that power running when you need it. Let's see here. Vegas Roy, what is your website address? You will need to pin it below or on the wall behind your head. I need to do that. And I've been out for a long time, guys. I've been busy, as I always say, and I actually fell ill for a while and kind of still am. So I've really been out of it. But that's a good idea, and we've talked about that. We were going to have that on the wall over here. So we'll definitely get that in there. Roy, I appreciate the heads up on that. Derek, we need a web banner, and the website is westthattechguy.com at this time. If I haven't said it enough for a lot of you guys. But get on over there, look and see what we've got. There's only a couple things on there right now today. We just got the store going. We are just now starting to update it. And I want you guys to know there's going to be a lot of stuff over there. It's not just these solar generators, and it's not just going to be my battery packs and my battery cells and stuff. It's going to be all things solar, eventually into electric boat motors, electric bicycles. We will be carrying name brand stuff like Duracell and Energizer, and we will be carrying other people's products and selling those. At the end of the day, I'm a businessman. That's what I do. So there will be other things. You'll be able to come over and get, portable power supplies like these here, that you run on your phones and your tablets, things like that. You'll be able to come over and get LED light bulbs, and you'll come, the LED plug lights, that you plug into these generators, these power supplies. You'll be able to get a lot of things that are set up for preppers, and a lot of things that are set up for people that are off the grid or for camping or tailgating. So it's not just this small little world of what you've been seeing. It's going to be a pretty vast website with quite a few products on it. And so if any of you guys got anything that's pretty cool that you're working on and you want an avenue to sell it, well, talk to me and we'll see what we can do. Robert says, pin it behind your head. That would be cool. Yeah, I'll do that. We've had this studio torn apart. I don't know how many times, man. And, it's just the nature of the beast, thinking we're going to move, and then a storm comes in and floods it. And then we've got to tear it apart, redo everything. I'm trying to build things in here. I'm trying to film in here. So yeah, today alone, we've moved the entire light trussing and camera trusses, 3 times a day, Derek?
At least.
Yeah. And for those of you who are new tonight to this live feed, I'm talking to Derek over here. Yes, it is Derek from the past. Derek's in town. He came down to come and work with us for a while again. Hopefully he'll be here a long time. And he left his family up in Philly to come down. And he's over here working on the website and just kind of hanging out for right now, trying to stay out of the picture. But we'll get all this stuff done. So, Derek, we need a westthattechguy.com banner. Also, guys, as I mentioned before, if any of you were watching earlier, West That Tech Guy channel and stuff. I'm not a conceited dude by any means. Well, actually, I am really conceited, but the website came about that way, or the YouTube channel came about that way, is because it was, just an old saying of mine, that I always use, and I would say that I'm that guy for whatever. I'm that guy. And so, then it was the tech guy or that tech guy. Well, there were other people that had that name. So we just put my name in front of it for the time being. And I've always told you guys it's going to change, and it now is going to change. So we have domains that we've got taken care of and we're working on like right now. And so in the next few days or even hours, you will start to see things propagate over to those other names. So when you see other names out there, that's me. It'll all still be me. Of course, you're seeing some changes over at YouTube on my channel, and we're going to continuously be changing that. And you're going to see some new names of things, because we can't call a solar generator Wes That Tech Guy, right? And Wes That Tech Guy is a long name. And my name, it's Wes, and I am that guy, and I'm a tech guy, and I'm a music guy, and I'm all these things. So we've kind of boiled it down to what the website or the YouTube videos or the YouTube channel is going to be about. That's what we're going to call the YouTube channel. That's the way it's going to stay. And I haven't mentioned that word yet because I'm keeping it to myself, but you guys know it soon enough. And we have several domains out there, and it'll be easy to find us and find our stuff. So anybody got any questions or anything you want to talk about, or anything we should let others know about, like the banner? I know I should have that behind me, and we have green screen capabilities. I think we're gonna see if we can work that into our videos. And I'm new to this live video stuff, so I'm working on that. Derek's working on that. We were gonna run one of our DSLRs over here tonight, and I was gonna actually come out from behind the desk, go over to the bench, and do some things. But unfortunately, we don't have a long enough HDMI to HDMI mini cable to reach from either of the computers in the studio to the area where we need it to be simple and fast for tonight's video. So I'm just sitting here behind the desk again and whatnot. I wanted to do some call-ins. So is there anybody out there that wants to call, talk about anything? And you guys, it doesn't have to be about solar power. It doesn't have to be about energy. It doesn't have to be about batteries. It doesn't have to be about storage. It can be anything. It can be about this thing behind me over here. It can be about anything. If you do, let me know. Say something here. I'll get you my number, and we'll go for it. Jojo, can you do an e-bike DIY? Jojo, I can do an e-bike DIY in my sleep, my friend. I don't know if you're just now joining us, but it's the first time I've seen you chat here. And, I'm that guy. And I've done e-bikes for years. And I did e-bikes many years ago, and we're going to get back at those e-bikes. And we're going to be making e-motorcycles, so on and so forth. So, yes, I will definitely be doing that. Now, would you like to see an e-bike DIY as far as a complete build from go to the store, buy a bicycle, turn it into an electric bike? Or would you like to see a DIY that's I build an entire bike frame and then we put electric motor on it and battery pack? Or do you want to see an e-bike battery built, whether it be a 12 volt, 24 volt, 36 volt, 48 volt, 60 volt, 72 volt? What kind of stuff for batteries? Not a problem. Piece of cake. I can give you a DIY right now on an e-bike battery. I can just reach right over here, open this little box up. How many volts, Joe? 48 volt. There, you already answered my question. There you go. Okay, so this is LiFePO4. This is a Headway 38120 SL. It is 8 amp hours. It has a 200 amp continuous discharge rating. And if you want a fast bike with a lot of power and a lot of range without any overheating or any problems, this is the battery for you. 16 of these batteries in series comes out to be a 48 volt battery. And they are dependable as hell. They'll last forever. And throw up a BMS on there, get a charger, a couple of wires, you're in business. Now, Joe, to answer your question a little better, we'll actually have 48 volt battery packs on our website for sale. We'll also have 48 volt, or we'll also have kits where you can build your own if you'd like. And we'll have video tutorials on that. And yes, Jojo, we do have them in 18650s. You do the exact same thing. You get your series to where you need it to be. You put a couple of them together in parallel, and you go from there. And so I think it's 48 volt if memory serves. At the top of my head, I want to say that in lithium, it's 13S. And then you would go however many P you want to go, so you have more reserve and storage. So yeah, we'll do those for you. Derek, can you do me a favor? Come over here, right down in this drawer on the right side. It's like 5th, 6th drawer down. Somewhere down there, you'll see a battery pack 18650s that I've been working on. No, that's not it. It's down farther. Next drawer or so. Black. Go down. Go up one. There it is. To the right. Okay. So something like this is what you're talking about. I think on the 18650s. This is a simple, messed around with testing cell that I use. And these are Samsung 25R, 25 amp continuous discharge batteries at 2.5 amp hours a piece, or 2,500 milliamp hours, however you'd like to look at it. And of course, this is what we use in our portable solar generators and stuff like this. And this is a 20 amp hour battery right here for one of my small generators. So we will also have kits of these for you with BMS, everything you need to build your own, or we can build for you. And yes, we're going to be doing some DIY. So that brings me to the next thing. I know that the title of this video was website update, and I think we were going to talk about that the site is live, and we've done that for the few guys of you that are watching. What we're currently working on right now, myself and a couple of my staff members, I think there's about 4 of us right now. We're actually working on getting out of the studio and getting into another area where we can do our assembly line, our assembly work. And we're next few days, we should have that done to where we can do that. And then we'll actually be able to film in those areas. And you'll see those DIY videos. We're going to be running our CNC machine. We'll be showing you how to make your own products with CNC, or we can make them for you. And we'll be doing a lot of DIY videos in that aspect. Electric bikes are going to be a big thing with me. As I said earlier in the video today, the live video, we will have electric bikes on our website for sale. We'll ship them anywhere. We will have all components for that. A lot of things are coming up on the website and on my videos here on YouTube. You know, I was in business a long time ago with electronics and things, and then I got into some other stuff, and I just got busy, and life happens. And so I love electric bikes. I love fast cars, all the above. I won't get into electric cars. I think the market's already pretty much taken up on that. I can't compete with the big automakers and, you know, the powers that be out there like Tesla and stuff, and even, you know, Chevy or Toyota. So, but electric bikes I can build, and electric motorcycles, and I can compete with those guys. So any other questions anybody might have? Roy, tell me a little bit about what's going on with you, man. I haven't seen or heard from you in a while. I know we've both been busy. I've been extremely busy. Jojo, what e-bike kit would you recommend? What e-bike kit would I recommend? Well, you know, that's a good question, and I would need to know a little bit more about that. I mean, of course, one that I sell. That's the one that I would recommend. And so what kits will we be carrying? Well, right now I can tell you this, that I'm a Golden Motor dealer. I'm an authorized Golden Motor dealer for the U.S., and they have some incredible products. Some Bafang stuff, or Bafang, however you want to say it. We'll be selling that. And one or two others, and that's it. And I can't mention their names yet because I'm still working a deal with them for their parts and products, and I don't want to jinx it by any means. 48 volt, by all means. You know, I don't know if you're familiar with Golden Motor at all, but Golden Motor makes an incredible hub, and they make an incredible motor, hubless motor, as a matter of fact. And their stuff is incredible because you can run it anywhere from 12 to 48 volts on any one of their motors, and higher to 60 to 72 volts. Very simple. It's just a simple program change. Just program the controller with a USB cable, and you're good to go. So yeah, and always 48 volts minimum on an electric bike, in my opinion. Are they pricey? No, they're not pricey. They're not pricey at all. And once they're in the U.S., I'm actually have a better price in the U.S. than they can offer you in China to sell them. And yes, they are China. Golden Motor is probably the world's largest electric motor manufacturer. And I say world's largest because they literally sell to the entire world. And you know, if you're in the States, like you go to like a Walmart's or an Albertsons or a Publix or a JCPenney's or any kind of commercial store, and you see those little scooters that are people like the handicapped people riding those stores, 9/10 of all those motors come from Golden Motor. And a lot of the privatized electric scooters and stuff for the elderly and the handicapped Those motors also come from Golden Motor. Now, yes, they're not bicycle motors, but the point is these guys have been in the business for a long time and they know their stuff. And they have motors. They have EV motors for your car, for your bike. They have an incredible line of electric outboard motors up to 50 horsepower, which is awesome. Vegas, we've been dodging Flo, the hurricane. Rained for 8 days here. Had a tornado touchdown and blew a building apart and killed a guy. Damn, I feel for you, man. I'm totally too familiar with hurricanes. And yeah, it's crazy, man. We've had our fill of hurricanes in this country the last year. It's insane. It's insane. We need a break. I mean, what was it last week? I think it was, you looked at the map, man, and there was what, Darren, was it 5 or 6 hurricanes rocking at one time?
At least 5.
Yeah. Crazy, man. Crazy. We've been praying, man, that we don't get one again, because I don't want to go through all this. I had 3 houses of my own that got hit. I got paid pretty good on them from my insurance companies to take care of stuff. But I'm here to tell you, even once I got the money, hiring contractors to fix this stuff was a nightmare. And so I had to do a lot of it myself and hire private guys to come and help me on the side that were contractors. And that helped out pretty good for the most part. But you can't, everybody's busy and everybody's working and everybody's out there price gouging. And so you can't get an honest guy to come and work for you because the honest guy's already working. And the other guy you can get, he's the price gouger and he just wants to rip you off anyway. So it's a nightmare. Bafang builds some pretty good stuff. Yes, they do. Bafang is really come along. They've really come along, and they've come a long way in the last 5 or 6 years with their product. And they're in a lot of production bikes now. And so it's just a good product. There's no doubt about it. Golden Motor's a good product as well. Golden Motors is in the new, I believe it's in that new Sur-Ron bike, or that electric bike or electric motorcycle. It's about $3,000, $3,500. That's like competing with the Stealth and stuff. So they got a big contract for that. And but like I said, I'm already the dealer for that Golden Motor, so I'm good there. But when you get a good product out there, people start going to it, to build their kits and stuff. Just had a 3-dimensional roof put on. Old roof was damaged by hail. Lovely. I just did 3 roofs myself. I didn't do them myself. I had to have them done from Irma. One of my houses, it was funny, I hired a roofing contractor. Long story short, a lot of money. They were late doing the job. They finally came and did the job. The last day of the finish, they sat and broke the plywood of my roof back in over my garage and then said, "What is that? I don't see what you're talking about up there." This was a dip in the plywood that they just replaced that was probably about a 4 foot in diameter, big sink in it. There was 4 or 5 dudes up there throwing off all the scrap from the entire 2,400 square foot house. And it was all piled above the garage, or they were sliding it into their dump trailer. Then they cracked it, and then they pretended like they didn't see it. So I had a lot of joy with that. 13.5. Yeah, that sounds about right. Roy, where are you at again? I don't remember. Are you in the Carolinas? You said Flo. So was it Flo that went to the Carolinas? Derek, what is it? Flo that went to the Carolinas?
I think so.
Richmond, Virginia. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so that's about the same price that's going on down here. I got one bid for my house. It was $38,000 for the roof, and then I got some other real reasonable bids, and they were all our roof bids were between 13.9 and as high as 16 on average. But I did get one for $38,000. I thought that was kind of ridiculous. Hey guys, how's the stream on your end? Is audio good and video good on your end? I don't see anybody telling me it's not, so I assume that it is. And still nobody saying anything. All right. So another thing I want to talk about is these these automobile jumpers, these power packs. They all got a different name: jump packs, power packs, and these guys are now starting to build these things with the inverters in them. And there was a few back in the day that did them, and they just, I don't know what happened to them. They just fell by the wayside. Duracell's got one, Energizer's got one, Cat's got one, DeWalt's got one. I think Milwaukee's got one now. Stanley's always had them. Diehard's got them. I want to say Deca has them. These are cool little, inverters. There's not a lot of power in these. These are still lead acid batteries. But for what they do, they're worth the $100 that you pay for them or whatever. I picked this up the other day at Costco or something. I was over there and I seen it. I was like, this is right up my alley. I'm that guy, so I'll buy this. And I have a Cat one over there. I try to stick with like this kind of stuff. I try to stick with a name brand. But all of these things are the same. All of these little jump boxes, these little jump packs, power packs, they all do the same thing at the end of the day, and that's the battery dies because they only last so long, and you only use them so many times because it's basically a jumper. Now, me, I've been in the automotive business for a lot of years, currently still am, and I have a few vehicles, so we've always got one or two of these laying around somewhere, and they just keep evolving. But at the end of the day, these only have these little batteries in them. Derek, can you grab that battery we were messing with over there earlier? These just got little lead acid batteries in them, sealed lead acid, usually something along the lines of this little guy right here. The same thing you'd find in your computer backup or UPS or your APC, whatever it's called. Little 12-volt sealed lead acid battery. And generally these have, one or two of these in there, generally one. And then that's it. So you're jumping your car with this little guy right here. And then your inverter's running off this little guy. I think it's like a little 7 amp hour probably. A little 8 amp hour. And so this is only going to last for so long. And then they go bad. And most people, they just end up throwing these things away because they don't understand that it's just this little battery in there that you can replace and do this stuff all over again with. So we are going to take some of these and, of course, DIY them. And we're going to run them into a lithium setup and be able to show you guys some lithium conversions because that's kind of a cool thing to do. So we're going to have some fun with a couple of these. But before we do that, we're going to fully charge some of these. We have several laying around, I think, right, Derek?
Yeah.
And then we're going to do some comparisons for you guys that want to get them because we're going to sell these also. And we're just going to see which one's better and which one's stronger and what they do and, all the above. And this little guy here, it says it's 1,100 peak amps for starting your car. It says it's got a little, I think this one's got 100 amp in it. It's got a 12-volt outlet. It's got USB ports. It's all weather. It's got a work light. It'll jump your car. It looks like it's got an air compressor in it, and it appears to have 220-volt AC outlets in this thing, if you see right about in here. And, this is what it'll do. It'll start your 4, 6, or 8-cylinder car. Of course, if it'll start any car, any cylinder engine, it's going to start all of those. Your boat, your motorcycle, all the good stuff. And you know what? My handy-dandy assistant brought me over my sheet that I should have had in the first place. But we're going to save that for the video. But let's see here. I've got this one. So the Duracell is got 2 of the AC outlets on it. It's got 2 2.4 amp USB ports. It has 1 12-volt DC outlet cigarette lighter adapter is what I like to call it, and 160 PSI air compressor. It includes the jumper cables, AC charging cord, and an inflation hose. For safety, it's got an LED light, reverse polarity protection, alarm for improper jumper connection, inverter overload and overheat protection. This little unit right here weighs 16.76 pounds. It is about a little more than 43 inches by 32.5 by 29, and it runs about $129, probably on Amazon is what I'm thinking, because we like to use Amazon as that. And so there's the box. I can definitely feel the weight. And you can run down and get this at your local parts store, auto parts store, probably, and whatnot. But it'll do a lot of things for that guy who's just got a little bit of tailgating that he wants to do. You get a full charge on this. This is going to keep your tablet charged all day, your phones all day, but that's about it. It's not going to do much more than that. So Robert Lopez says, a little grainy on my side. Sounds good. Robert, sorry about that. We should be running 1080p here, and we normally have a pretty decent connection, but it could be us, could be you. At least you're able to see us. That's a good thing. Could be my camera too, because I'm just using the camera on my computer, man. I don't have one of my good cameras running. What do you think about AGM batteries? Robert says. Robert, what do I think about AGM batteries? I think they're heavy. I think they're expensive. I think they'll do the job, whatever it is that you need. I think that at the end of the day, if you're using AGM batteries for solar or for power reserve, it's easier than lead acid. It definitely costs more than lead acid in general, and they're cleaner. They're doable. I prefer lithium and LiFePO for myself for energy storage because they last longer. They'll outlive the AGM. They have a higher rate of discharge, and so on and so forth. So the AGM are great for what they do, better than lead acid. I can also tell you this, AGM is going to wear out a lot. It's a good question that you asked that. And then we don't have a lot of people here. So we talk about batteries. A battery, exactly right, Roy. Batteries are a myth. Like we say, okay, you've got a lithium 18650 battery and it's good for 800 life cycles or 600 or 1,000 or 400. And well, the reality is all lithium, no, let me rephrase that. Most lithium batteries have a charge life cycle of 800, or meaning you can charge and discharge the battery 800 times. That's the way it's warranted or represented. Not warranted, it's represented that way on the lithium battery from most all manufacturers of that 18650 lithium battery or a lithium battery in general. It doesn't have to be an 18650. It could be a AA. It could be a 1.5 volt battery. It could be a small 3.2 volt lithium button cell battery. Okay, so the reality of this is that's true. If you only discharge the battery at, say, no more than 80%, you will get 800 charges out of it. Now, not 80%. 20%. So if you bring the battery from 100% fully charged to 80% fully charged, you'll get 800, give or take 10 or 20 charge cycles. You'll get that. That's all things considered perfect in a perfect world, meaning the proper temperature, the proper storage, the proper charging, the proper discharging, all of the above. In a perfect world, you'll get that. Take that battery to 75%, and you've now just decreased the amount of times you can recharge that battery to full and get its full use out of it. By 25%, and when I say by 25%, I'm saying 25% of 800. So you just took off, a little more than approximately 200 charge cycles off that by draining this battery to 75%, to getting it down to 75% full. Now we can sit here and argue and talk about this and fight about this all day long if you'd like, but the truth of the matter is that's just the facts. Drain that battery to 50%, you just cut its life cycle in half. I know they say that only works with lead acid and AGM batteries, which is still a lead acid battery. And that's wrong. It's batteries in general, and it's just how they work. Yes, you can take a lithium battery, and yes, you can fully charge it, and yes, you can drain it down to 3 volts, but you are hurting the battery's life cycle. No ifs, ands, or buts. You can check it out over the battery encyclopedia and learn all about lithium that you want, and it's just the facts. And I use them every day, and I know this to be true. So that's why Apple was the culprit that got caught doing it with the iPhone. Apple was taking the iPhone if you guys remember recently, they made these updates that all of a sudden, as soon as you updated the phone, the battery no longer worked, and the phone battery would your phone would completely die at 20%. And you had the phone for a year, never had a single problem, went all the way down to 1% and then shut off. And they started shutting off at 20% and 30% because that was a software thing that Apple did that made you run in and go buy a new battery or a new phone. And people did. They spent, I'm sure, hundreds of millions of dollars doing that, and there was nothing wrong with the phone. They programmed your phone to do that to you. Apple got busted for that. Big trouble for that. It's just like what they did recently also when they started slowing down your older phones. Hey, my old phone worked great. Why would you slow it down on me? Well, I had no problems with it to begin with. But the point is they put lithium batteries in their phones, and people were keeping them plugged in all the time, and the batteries were just lasting forever. And that's because they never fully drained them. And if you have 2 iPhones in your household or any 2 phones that are lithium that are the same, or iPads or tablets, and you use those a lot, and one's always plugged in or charged a lot, and the other one goes all the way down, like your children, and you'll always wonder why your children's die out before yours do in time. And that's because they drain those batteries down all the way. And that's just a fact of how it works. Roy says AGM won't hold up long, easy to damage, and have a limited charge recharge. That is correct. Just what I was saying. AGM batteries are good for what they are, and they're a cheaper way of getting stored energy up front, but they're heavier, they're a nightmare, and they're explosive, and they will not take as many charge cycles as lithium or LiFePO4 will, period, even though under the same circumstances. And you can only discharge those at half anyway, not even half, and they're dead. You have to completely recharge them because that's how voltage works. Roy says, wanted to sell those $1,000 phones. Good business plan, LOL. Right. Yeah, very smart business plan. And I happen to, people that know me here on my channel, they know how I feel about Apple products, even though they're all around me. I own Apple stock and I have Apple products all around me. I'm in front of a Mac computer right now. I have an iPad on a tripod to my left. I have 2 iPhones sitting here. We have a Mac over there. Derek's got Mac. It's Mac everywhere, but I prefer PC. I know I have Mac everywhere, and you would think I prefer Mac, but I've had these conversations before about Mac. We use them. I use them for very specific things, and only that. And if I don't have to use them, I don't use them. I'm on my PC. Anyways, we don't have a lot of people in this chat. We've been going for about an hour. Anybody have any questions or anything they want to know from me, or anybody that want to just throw something out there for everybody else? Like anybody else got anything going on? Has anybody went and checked out the new website with the live content on it, by the way? And that's westhattechguy.com, just like the channel. I could type over here. I'm going to type it in over here. Boom. Be sure to go over there and check that stuff out. You'll be able to find whatever you need over there, I hope. I was going to do some call-ins, but there's not a lot of people here, and nobody seemed to want to call in and talk about anything, so everybody's being really quiet and reclusive out there. So then they're looking for solar panels. Roy, we'll have our solar panels up. Give me another day or two. It's just Derek and I and Cammie doing the website. Cammie's off for the evening. We just got the store implemented into it, and we're just putting a few things on, and we're thinking about even changing the platform over maybe tonight or tomorrow to a whole nother web platform. I'm using the GoDaddy one right now, and we've done other websites, and we don't really like this GoDaddy one, but we'll see how it works. Tell me what kind of solar panels you need. I've got a bunch coming. Not yet going to. Robert Lopez says not yet going to. Okay, Robert, cool. Damn glad Derek's back. Yeah, me too. Derek, yeah, see Roy saying, hey, Derek, glad you're back. It took a little bit of conniving and a little bit of prying, but we got him back. And, it's just his luck that he comes back. I'm sick as hell. His dad all of a sudden has some problems. He's got some other personal problems going on. So, yeah, he's got his little Charlie Brown cloud going around, following him all over where he's at. So, but we wish him the best. Hopefully everything will be good. And I think he's happy to be back for a little bit here and for the most part. He said when he got here, though, he said he's glad to see that everything's still the same here. So that's a good thing, I guess, or maybe not. I don't know. What else is new that we could talk about? We have a ton of batteries in stock, you guys, both 18650 Samsung 25Rs and Headway battery cells. And I can assure you this, that they're authentic and you don't have to worry about them. They're just authentic. I've been doing business with both of these companies for many, many, many years, and we don't have any problems with our cells. So if you need those cells, or you got a lot of cells for your builds or whatever, let me know. Also, I'm going to be selling the prototype generators that I built. So if you're interested in the 600 watts prototype or the 3000 watt prototype, let me know. I want to sell those and get rid of them. And you can get those at a great price. We'll have those on the website tonight. Are they on there yet, Derek?
Which ones?
The generators?
The generators are not on there yet. No.
Okay.
We got some batteries on there. We got some holders, some clips.
Okay, so we just got started putting stuff on the site today, guys. So we'll get them up there, and so you'll be able to purchase those or parts and pieces. And if not, I'm going to probably end up robbing the 3000 inverter out of that particular model and get it into one of the hard cases. So bring me one of the faceplates over for the diamond plate ones. Just bring me the faceplate over for the 3000. I have 5 bad flex panels out of 12, going to replace all with something over the winter. Need something lightweight and cheap. What voltages do you need them in, and what wattages do you need them in, Roy? That's not the panel. That's the side. I need the front face. It might not be in that pile. It might be with the other ones over that were inside the cage. Let's see what we got over here. While Roy is typing, I hope he's typing. He usually is typing when I talk to him. I am currently running 12-volt system, looking to go to 24 or 48. Okay, so either way, you could do that. So you want to do you want to replace 5 flex panels? How many watts are those, Roy? That's really important. How many watts they're putting out? Because there's all different sizes and shapes of flex panels. Yeah.
No shipping on the website yet, pricing. So
Oh yeah, and there's no shipping pricing yet on the website. So if you bought something, we'll have to figure out shipping for you. We're implementing in our shipping calculator. This is the faceplate of one of our generators we'll be building, guys. Derek, give me a tape measure. Let's see how long this is. Never mind. It's 25 inches long. So this is about 25 inches long, a little over 2 feet long, and height, I think, we can hit the height. By 14. So this is the, do me a favor, go over and measure that other box over there, the top, just the opening is all I need. This is going to be the faceplate for the 3000, 4000 watt low frequency inverter. And these will be all of the that's a single phase unit, by the way, not split phase. I was saying 2 phase, but anyways, earlier.
about 22.
About 22 inches, yeah. So this will run anywhere, this size will run our 3000 and our 4000 watt solar generator diamond plate. You don't have to get a diamond plate. It costs a little bit more in diamond plate, but not much. And we're talking a few dollars, nothing that's going to break the bank. So we have it in black diamond plate, this diamond plate, and we're having other colors: white, green, black, blue, red, aluminum, and this is all aluminum. And if you do get a split phase system, you'll see 2 of these little holes right here. This is the 120 volt 30 amp. But if you get a split phase system, you'll have the 30 amp and the 50 amp 220. So you can just go right into your house with these. And then of course, these are all going to be all your 120 ACs. This is the remote window. Over here is going to be your DC power in and out, your solar and your wind. Of course, this is going to be your 12 volt stuff. And these over here are all going to be switches. So that's just a little insight on what we're doing there and whatnot. Thought I'd show you that. Maybe I've showed you that before in other videos when we were making them and stuff on the CNC machine. I am currently running 12 volt system, looking to go up to 24 or 48 volt. Roy, will it not let you type in how many watts your panels are? Because I mean, I got some flexible panels, but I mean, I got them in 30 watts, 25 watts, 50 watts, 100 watts, 120 watts. Here we go. It came up. I can reconfigure my Leaf battery 6,000. That's right. You got the Leaf battery 6,000, 24 or 48 volt. My Flex are 12 volt 100 watt. I'm thinking of going to 4 fixed and 4 sliding 200 watt around 1,600 watts. Okay. 4 fixed and 4 sliding. All right. So yeah, that's a good point, guys. When you're doing solar and you're doing solar panels, I know a lot of people, even myself included, when I first did it, we all start out with the smaller panels, the 100 watt panels, because they're affordable. And you figure, hey, you know, if I'm not going to use these, I'm not out a lot, or whatever the case is, or I'm going to just tinker and experiment, and that's good and all, and they work. If you're serious about solar and energy, and you're going to be trying to be off the grid, or you just want to, you know, supplement your income by, you know, do some net metering or selling power back to the power company, try to keep your panels above 200 watts, always, and always, if you're just running, you know, an inverter in your home and you're not talking about a portable system, and even if you are talking about a portable system for your home and you can afford it, I always emphasize afford it, go 48 volt every time. It's much easier. It costs a lot more money for the battery bank because you have to have 4 times the batteries of a 12 volt system. But it's if you're going to go off the grid or you're going to do a big array and a big setup, that's at the end of the day, you need to be no less than 24 volt to be on it on the regular, you know, like to be permanently on it. So, you know, you want to be thinking about that for sure. They lasted 2 years or less. Damn. See, solar panels, Roy, did you get those locally, like in the States? Did you buy those Alibaba or AliExpress or China, or where'd you get your panels? Because panels have a warranty, you know, a good warranty. And that's something that I fight with my distributors when I do any kind of business with companies. Like, you know, that's why you keep hearing me say words like Samsung and Headway and stuff. And the reason why will only use those name brand cells, and that's another conversation about name brands for another day. But when it comes to batteries, I want a big company. I want a name brand company that has some liability and some reliability and some warranty that I can count on. And that's why I use those guys. Other things, I'm not a name brand guy all the time, but for these sorts of things, I definitely am name brand. Saruki. Okay. So that's actually that Saruk. I don't know if you got that right. Maybe I'm getting it wrong. That's actually a good panel. That's Saruki. I think I got those panels. No, I have a different panel. I thought that was the same one, unless you're spelling it different. SUAR or something. Let me see here. SUAOKI is what I have. So Suwaki. I would call it Suwaki. SUAOKI. Suwaki. I have some of those small flex panels. I'll put it in here. See, it was Jesus Christ. SUAOKI. Yeah. So you have the Suwaki panels, and they didn't last you very long, huh? Because I have some that I've had for years and never had a problem with. Now, they're not what I use generally, but they are our smaller panels that we will sell with our solar units, our smaller 600 watt stuff. So you have something to charge with, and it's lightweight and portable. Because it is a portable system at the end of the day, so we're trying to keep the weight down. But if one of ours go out, we'll warranty it for you. Not a problem. I didn't get mine through Amazon. I actually got mine through the manufacturer who makes the panel in bulk through a shipping container. Hey, is there anybody on right now watching this video that does web design? or graphic design? We need some graphic design. Somebody that's really good at it. Some really good 3D high resolution graphics to take some of our workload off of us. And of course, I'd be willing to pay you for your time or trade you for your time. Delaminated in the sun. Some of the new ones look good, but failed. They claim it because I connected them in parallel. Their diodes suck. Roy, that's kind of the dumbest thing I've heard from a solar company to say that to you. That they blame, that's the way it goes when you deal with Chinese product. I've said in a lot of my videos, the last thing they want to do is warranty their product because that means they have to give you something for free. They always want to pull the crap of, hey, you send it back to us and we'll look at it and then we'll give you another one. And I've been dealing with that for 15 or 20 years. And I don't do that stuff. And in our business, if you buy a product from me, I'll deal with the manufacturer on my end for warranty. We make our own determination upon warranty, not them. And then we'll deal with them. And if they want to lose our business, then that's their choice. But generally, they do the same thing to me, but they'll always just take our word for it. And we never have to ship anything back. We just have to show proof of things. And then they'll always ship us our new stuff when we place another order with them. That's kind of their little trick, is how they keep you in business over there. Now they unless they change something over there, Roy, they can be connected in parallel. Flex panel, Robert. What we mean by a flex panel is a little panel that's really flexible, and it bends and it's wavy and it's flexible. That's what we mean by that. Here's a little one right here, just like Roy was talking about. And these come in all shapes and sizes. This is exactly one of the ones. Well, this is a lot smaller than the one Roy's talking about. There it is. See how it flexes? And so you can get it to go to a vehicle or a certain shape. Trying to get the right angle on this camera here. And it's a solar panel and it produces power. This is good. Something like this is good to just hook right up to a battery. You can just basically hook this up to a battery and let it charge your battery. You don't have to worry about any solar controllers or anything. It does have a solar controller, and you should always use one, but you wouldn't have to. If you were on top of it and you were there and you weren't walking away, this will charge your battery up, no problem. But these do come with a little teeny tiny solar controller, and you can just wire the solar controller up, put this in the sun, and you can keep an automobile battery or car battery or an RV battery fully charged during the day. Let's see. Pounds are lightweight. Yeah, 5.5 pounds. They can be bent to 30 degrees. Yeah, good answer. And now they have them. Now they have the things you can just roll them right up. You just roll them up like a towel or whatever, like a roll of paper, and they're 20 feet long. So, and you pay $1,200 for them. And the ridiculous thing about that is they're still only 120, 200 watts. You're paying way too much bucks for them, depending on which company you buy from. Well, guys, anyways, my contour to the roof of my camper trailer. Yeah, I run 3 EV Power solar controllers. I monitor them from home over internet and RS-485. I also have cameras online. What inverter are you using, Roy? See, that's something now that we're working on coming out with our smart inverters, both for lithium LiFePO4 and then for being able to be controlled via an app or something. And it's a lot harder than it seems. 40 amp EPV Evertracer. Okay. Good enough. Well, guys, we've been going a little over an hour here, and I just wanted to get back on and say, hey, I'm still around. The website's up and running. We got a lot of new stuff coming, and keep looking back. wesththattechguy.com. We're going to be updating all night tonight and a bunch more stuff. And like I said, there's going to be a ton of stuff up there. We got more videos coming out. We are shooting videos. We have shot a lot of videos. They just got to be edited. Derek's here doing that daily too. I'm running Derek like you wouldn't believe. So with that said, guys, I appreciate you all coming in. Roy, it's good to see you again. And there was somebody else I hadn't seen in a long time. Alonzo Gonzalez, thanks for coming in. The rest of you, JoJo, Robert, I appreciate you guys coming in and enjoying and chatting. If you guys got any questions, hit me up over at my channel at Wes.TechGuy. Be sure you can always send me an email over to wes@wes.techguy.com, or you can go to the website and give me a call. Thanks for coming tonight, guys. I appreciate your time. We'll see you around. See you on the next one.